we doing, everybody? This is the Pop Music Freak back with another Song Facts Countdown video. We are up to number 908 of my 1,000 favorite songs of all time. Today I'm covering the first big solo hit. Well, Another Day was a pretty big solo hit, but this was his first number one solo hit after leaving the Beatles. I'm talking about Paul McCartney. Teamed up with his wife and crew. They weren't officially called Wings yet. Came up with the name pretty soon after. It's Paul McCartney. The song is Uncle Albert and Admiral Halsey. And I'm going to give you the song facts on this tune. Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey is a song by Paul and Linda McCartney from the album Ram, released in the United States as a single on August 2nd, 1971. It reached number one on the Billboard Hot 100 in just a month. Later, September 4th, 1971, making it the first of a string of post-Beatles Paul McCartney penned singles atop the U.S. pop chart during the 70s and the 80s. Billboard ranked the song as number 22 on its top pop singles of 1971 year-end chart. It became McCartney's first gold record after the breakup of the Beatles. The song was originally recorded on November 6th of 1970 and was released in the USA only on August 2nd, 1971. Might be worth noting, it made a big leap to get into number one and jumped from number 12 the week before. So it was one of those things that just caught fire suddenly and everybody jumped on the song and it became a big hit. Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey is composed of several unfinished song fragments that Norwegian engineer Erik Langberg stitched together in a similar manner to the medleys from the Beatles' 1969 album Abbey Road. The orchestral arrangements by George Martin were recorded in New York at A&R Recording, along with other instruments by McCartney and his new band. The project was moved to Los Angeles, where vocals were added by Paul and Linda McCartney, her first experience of recording in a professional studio. The song is notable for its thunderstorm and environmental sound effects added by Langberg in Los Angeles. He had been invited by McCartney to mix and sequence the Ram album in any way he saw fit, and he copied the thunder from a monaural film soundtrack, then fashioned an artificial stereo version of it for the song. Paul said Uncle Albert was based on his uncle. He's someone I recall fondly, and when the song was coming, it was like a nostalgia thing. He also noted that I had an uncle, Albert Kendall, who was a lot of fun, and when I came to write Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey, it was loosely about addressing that older generation, half thinking, what would they think of the way my generation does things? That's why I wrote the line, "We're so sorry, Uncle Albert." Paul also told an American journalist, as for Admiral Halsey, he's one of yours, an American admiral, referring to Fleet Admiral William Bull Halsey, from 1882 to 1959. Paul has described the Uncle Albert section of the song as an apology from his generation to the older generation, and Admiral Halsey as an authoritarian figure who ought to be ignored. As for the reception of the song, Paul McCartney won the Grammy Award for Best Arrangement Accompanying Vocalist in 1971 for the song. Single was certified gold by the RIAA for sales of over 1 million copies. According to AllMusic critic Stuart Mason, fans of Paul McCartney's music are divided in their opinions of the song. Although some fans praise it as one of his most playful and inventive songs, others criticize it for being exactly the kind of cute self-indulgence that they find so annoying about his post-Beatles career. Mason himself considers it churlish to be annoyed by the song, given that the song isn't intended to be completely serious, and praises the Hands Across the Water section as being lovably giddy. Ultimate classic rock critic Nick DeRiso states that the song feels more calculatedly twee than truly inspired, despite its episodic construction, and that its main weakness is that it exposes McCartney's awareness of his own charm. In a contemporary review of Ram, John Landau of Rolling Stone gave Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey a negative review, saying the song was a piece with so many changes it never seems to come down anywhere, and in the places that it does, sounds like the worst piece of light music Paul has ever done. Cashbox said that the song is bursting with fine melodies and interesting musical changes, certain to please both AM and underground programmers. On the U.S. charts, the song set a milestone as the all-time a songwriting record at the time for Paul McCartney for the most consecutive calendar years to write a number one song. This gave him 8 consecutive years, starting with I Want to Hold Your Hand, leaving John Lennon behind with only 7 years. The record would later be broken by Lionel Richie, who had a number one hit, who wrote a number one hit 9 consecutive years, 1978 to 1986. Later release. Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey appears on the Wings' Greatest Compilation album released in 1978, even though Ram was not a Wings album, because they didn't officially name the band Wings yet. The song appears on several solo Paul McCartney compilations, the US version of All the Best, as well as Wingspan Hits in History, and on both standard and deluxe versions of Pure McCartney. So, let me give you the lineup of who performed on the actual song. Paul McCartney vocals, obviously, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, piano, bass, and xylophone. He played everything. Linda McCartney supplied backing vocals. Hugh McCracken played acoustic and electric guitar. Denny Sewell on drums. Paul Beaver on synthesizer. David Nadian and Aaron Rosend on violin. Marvin Stram, Mel Davis, Ray Krizara, and Snooky Young on brass. The New York Philharmonic Orchestra supplied orchestral backing, and George Martin supplied the orchestral arrangement. So that's about it. Let's look at the chart success. It wasn't released everywhere, but in Canada it hit number 1, in New Zealand number 1, US of course number 1. The Billboard Easy Listening chart, it got as high as number 9. In Mexico, it reached number 3. In Australia, number 5. And in West Germany, number 30. Now, for the year end charts, in Canada, it was ranked the number 14 song of 1971. And in the US and Billboard, it was ranked the number 22 song of 1971. And was certified gold for 1 million copies in the US. So there you go. There's the song facts. Paul McCartney's first number 1 outside of the Beatles, Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey. I'm going to post a link to the music video in the description. There's a couple of different choices there. There was a live performance, and then there was a video of just Linda walking around in the woods, I guess, or out there on their property. I'm not sure where they are, but it's a nice, I think that's the video I'll share with all of you. So, I hope you like the video. I hope you share it. I hope you subscribe. We've got a lot of subscribers jumping on board. I'm up to about 1150 now. Thank you, folks, for coming. Those of you that are new to this channel, welcome aboard. I think you'll like my honest appraisal of these songs, and I hope I supply at least 1 or 2 facts that are new for you on each song, so that let this be a nice musical learning experience for all of us. I mean, a lot of this I don't really know until I get the information that I can dig up on the song. So, thank you all so much. I wish you all a pleasant day. I'm going to try and post one more video today. And I wish you all peace and love and a wonderful day.